So speaking of battling older artists,
Yeah.
what's the issue with you and Wiley?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
how,
yeah.
how did that beef start? Or would you
Um,
even call it a beef?
I get it's a beef. It's a lyrical grime beef.
Okay.
Until actual beef now. It started to. It's a straight because you need to know about Wiley. You need to know about grime. You need to know about Wiley. You need to know because so Wiley is the figurehead of what we do. He's started this.
Is he?
Started.
He's considered the king of the grime culture.
He's the godfather.
Okay.
He's even more culturally important than being like the king of a genre. He is grime. Like when you look at Wiley, he's grime. He invented this. He started it. He pioneered it. All of those words in it. Yeah. But obviously, naturally, like he's come up. He's a natural clasher. Like goes for MCs. Like as in, I'm like Wiley's 35th like sparrer. As in terms of enemies or like fucking opponents, I am like his 30. Like he's been through it with every single person. Like he's had lyrical wars with everyone. So
So he came at you.
yeah, so that's
Okay.
in his nature, like naturally, like he's naturally like that, and he's naturally a bit of like a wind up and a troll, and like like and now if you marry what Wiley was all those years ago as like and then you marry that with social media, now do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
Twitter
yeah.
and having the ability
Yeah.
to post a video and just do you know what I mean? So now it became more of like a trolling thing where like obviously my success with Ed, my success just commercially and like that became like a very big talking point for him in the past few months in terms of like he was attacking Ed a lot for you used grime and then me being with Ed. Ed's my brother, Ed's my brother and me and him making music was like he made it of kind of like a dem thing like you're like the commercial, you're like mainstream, do you know what I mean? And I just became like the brunt of a lot of his Twitter rants and his all of that. Like, and he kept on using my name in it, and we addressed I addressed him. I said, "Yo, like, I love you, but you're very fucking annoying." He replied, and then it was just a little Twitter exchange, which really ain't my style. And then he said, "Suck your mum," which like. Yeah,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like
That's universal.
That's universal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
universal. So he said that, and it was like okay, and I left it, and then he did what the natural grime MC thing is to do, where you go on record and you send for someone. So when you send, that's like you call them out on the record, you're taking shots at them, and it's like a live and direct. I'm sending for you. Let the war begin in it. And I, as a grime MC, couldn't allow that. Do you know what I mean? To happen. Like as I said, like my DNA and my natural upbringing is I'm an MC first and foremost. Like being the best in the rooms, like is paramount to me. That's like first and foremost. So you got Wiley, like the king of the godfather of this genre, like coming at the new kid, like saying I'm not all of these things, and it was just like it's like Game of Thrones, really. It was like Game of Thrones, like okay, I'm the top boy, like and look, Wiley got you, no. It was like, okay, like I gotta deal with it accordingly, which I did, yeah.
So is this like a idols become your rivals type thing?
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally that. I'm trying to think what the US equivalent would be. It would be like a Nas versus J. Cole or something. Do you know what I mean? Like,
got you.
Like in terms of like, Nas, you started this shit, but I guess hip hop has even more founding fathers than that, even, like that go further back than Nas. But like, yeah, J. Cole would have came in the game.
Yeah.
He's listened to Nas all his life. Do you know what I mean? J. Cole would have listened to Nas his entire life, knows all the Nas albums, knows Nas back to front, come in the game. He would have met Nas, it's love, bear homage to Nas, and then one day Nas is like just feeling a
Fuck
bit
you.
froggy,
Yeah.
and leaps at you, and it's like, whoa, like, do you know what I mean? So
How do you not like Ed Sheeran? How do
bruv.
you pick at Ed Sheeran,
Do you know
Wiley?
his argument with Ed is that Ed uses culture for his own gain. That's his like you because the Take Me Back to London record was a massive hit back home. So that I think that, and obviously that's, I wouldn't say that's grime, but it's a tempo and we're spitting, and do you know what I mean? And like it's grime to an extent, do you know what I mean? Like your grime purists will want to fight me for that. Like, no, but it's grime to an extent. It's a rhythm. It's moving at 140 BPM, and it's sonically it's grime. Ed's voice on it, people like that's the bit that it's not so. Do you know what I mean? And he has his own personal reasons for attacking Ed. But obviously, I've always said like, I know Ed. I ain't working with no fucking culture vulture or no fucking.
Ed's not that at all.
That's not Ed. You know what I mean? So I've always like, but it's so mad because I understand Wiley's case in terms of wanting to protect what he's built, wanting to protect like black music and grime and 100%, and he doesn't want any, because grime has been threatened a lot in the past by like commercial entities, or like it's been watered down, or they've grabbed things out of grime and taken it. So I understand the stance of like someone saying, yo, like we're not having that no more. But I was like, yo, this ain't the case here. You picked me and Ed, and I was like, this ain't the case here, bro. Like you're mad. If they, in terms of for the culture, like and all of that, I said, bruv, you. And to be fair, he knows that. He's not stupid. He knows that, innit? Like, but we became the brunt of a lot of his jokes. At first it was Ed, and then he slowly started our Storm, and then he's kind of making it Stormzy and Ed, because me and Ed are having a lot of success together recently. I take him back to London, own it. So he started putting me in the conversation, and to which I responded, innit? And then that's how we ended up with like World War fucking 3. Like.
Did you ever want him to be a mentor to you?
Who, Wiley?
Yeah.
Oh, I've always, even I got know me from. I say shout out to my big bro Wiley. That's a bad man from early. Why I've got a track on my album, on Heavy as the Head. There's a track called Wiley Flow, which is literally
paying homage.
It's like that's all it is. It's literally homage. It's me. It's like someone doing I don't know, like jigger flow, and like they're using all the jigger flows that we know, and like do you know what I mean? Like, and that's all. I've always been so held all these people in very high regard, like in terms of, as I said, they birthed me, innit? Like there ain't no Storms without Wiley, without all these people. Like I don't have a career. I don't exist. I don't without them. And grime's quite a young genre in the sense of I grew up on grime, so I watched it all unfold. I watched it all happen. So yeah, I've always just been a proper fan. I came in the game wearing my heart on my sleeve very much, in terms of, whoa, like shit, man, like this is like, it's probably the equivalent of someone becoming like a rapper here, but I see Roddy Ricch talking about it, actually. He was talking about Thug and Future and how much they've influenced him. And he's listened to them all his life on the block. I see him talking about, I've listened to Young Thug and Future all my life on the block. And now Roddy Ricch is Roddy Ricch. He's gonna be in the same rooms as Thug in the future. Right. Do you know what I mean? So it was like that for me, like, wow, I'm in the same, and I know these people now, and like I say hello to them, and like all these things, and then the more successful I got, like the more resistance there was like between me and these people. And yeah, I think like this was like a kind of like a boiling point in terms of like me being this new kid who like came in heart on my sleeve, like looking at everyone, and then, but obviously them having a natural resistance against me because I'm having commercial success in it, like, and I'm having success in areas that they may not have had, but I've only had that success because they bit the bullet for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I understand, and I've always been vocal about that. They bit the bullet for me, like, and allowed me to reap the fruits of not only my labor but their labor as well. Do you know what I mean? So, but then the time comes where you got to say, bruv, I've paid all the homage and all the respect and all the love I could pay before. You know what I mean?
Stop playing with me.
Yeah. So it's literally stop playing with me. Yeah.
So what happens when you and Wiley see each other? Is it a conversation or do you...
Boy, it's boy, do you know what it is? It's like with grime culture, yeah, and battle. It's probably like this the similar to battle rap culture, where whatever's said on the battlefield is said on the battlefield, and like, but there's a new I always say, like, my age, I'm 26 years old, so I understand the essence of like clashing and sending and all of that, and I get it and I love it, and but then there's also a man in me who thinks you don't just tell people to suck their mum, innit? Like, do you know, I wouldn't do this, like, and I got lyrics where I say, but that's on like a lyrical MC one. Suck your mum, or fuck them
it's
guys.
It's just generic.
Yeah,
it's not personal to somebody.
It's not personal. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of just like me, my bravado, like. But then it's jokes because he's from a generation where they used to do that. I say it's like a kind of Like, not even in a disrespectful way, but it's a bit WWE, where it's like, we could sit here today, like, Charlemagne, and then you go home and then I'm on the mic saying, Charlemagne, you're a prick, and you're thinking, bro, I was just with you, do you know what I mean? So it's very, like, theatrical and all of that. And so it's me understanding that side of things, whilst also, as a man where we're from, you don't really do that. You don't just, like, you can't just say, like, oh, flips, no, you can't just really do that, innit, like. But I get it because it's the culture man's in this grind, but I feel like it's a blurred line. It's a blurred line between, like, disrespect and, do you know what I mean? And
music.
Like, yeah. But it's whatever. It's cool, man.
You done? You done with the music?
Yeah.
You done replying? You put out?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was done. I managed to defeat him with two dubs, which was, for me, was done. Do you know what I mean? He done one, I done one, won the first round. He done another one, I did one, I won the second round. He did a third one that I personally didn't think needed any sort of response. It was bruv, it didn't need a response.
If you saying it's whack, it was whack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or more so, maybe not that it was whack, because it wasn't even whack, to be fair. No, I'm lying. I wouldn't say it was whack. I would say it was a good, like, it was good bars and flows and that.
It was cute, is what you're saying. Is that what you're saying?
It was good. It was like a good tune, innit? Like, it was a good rhythm.
Yeah.
But in terms of it offending me, I wasn't offended, innit?
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So if we're clashing or diss track sending, you should be able to poke, and then it makes me think, what? You said that? Fuck, there's some kind of studio. And the third one, I thought, okay, no, we're cool with the first. I'm cool with the two dubs. All right.
How much has social media helped you? When did you realize you could use it to your advantage?
Massively. I was a proper case study of, like, a young artist using social media to get their music out to the world. Like, that was my only means of getting my music out to the world. Before any radio stations were playing me, I was using Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all of these as devices to get my music out. So I'm a proper like, student of social media, like, and the age I am as well, like, when I was in school, college, like, on our phones, by the time I was ready to be a musician, social media was prominent in the world, and I could use it at my full advantage. So
does it help you to get listeners and fans outside of the UK?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Otherwise, social media is the great, like, in terms of getting your music out there, like, that was my greatest asset. I just used to go studio, make a tune, shoot the video, straight off my Twitter, like.